Florida State flips 4-star Oklahoma quarterback commit Kevin Sperry. And this one kind of came out of nowhere a little bit. It felt like a surprise.
It definitely came out of nowhere.
Yeah. Were you shocked by this? I mean, definitely wasn't in the drafts ready for that one to go, D-Lou.
No, not even a name that's been on my radar for, going on 2 years now.
Yeah. 6'1", 200-pound quarterback, ranked as a 24th quarterback in his class. Right now from Texas, but he previously played at Oklahoma. He actually, in his junior season, completed 131 passes out of 191, had a 68.6% completion rate, threw for well over 2,500 yards, 31 touchdowns to 4 interceptions, and also runs the ball quite a bit. 93 rushes, 563 yards, and 11 more scores on the ground there. And then this season right now, currently, which he's still playing, right? They're still in the playoffs, I do believe. They're in Texas.
Yep, they just won their most recent game on Friday night.
Yeah, man. Currently holds an 8-3 record there for Geyer High School. 2,026 yards, 21 touchdowns, 7 interceptions, while running for 642 yards and 2 touchdowns on the ground. What are your thoughts on this commitment here? Because there was another name that we were keeping an eye on that, was it going to be Wisconsin? Was it going to be Florida State for the other prospect at the quarterback position? But this one comes out of nowhere, and it seems like Florida State had maybe plan B or C here. And was this plan B or C potentially?
Yeah, I guess this is why you always keep the relationships in recruiting. Kevin Sperry, the last time that he was on campus in Tallahassee was back in 2022. And he came through that summer 2 years ago, worked out at a camp. That's when he picked up his offer from Florida State, returned, took an unofficial visit for FSU's win against Florida that year in Doak Campbell Stadium, and then came back a couple weeks later while he and his family were down in the state of Florida for a trip. So, he's got a pretty good relationship with the coaches. Obviously, knows how Mike Norvell and Tony Tokarz operate. Been up close and personal with them a couple times. Got a chance to throw for them at that summer camp. So there's definitely some familiarity between the two parties. And whenever Carter Smith started trending to Wisconsin after that official visit, it seemed like FSU had to do a quick pivot. And Sperry, obviously was a member of Oklahoma's class, and they've been struggling this season, and seemed like it was the best move for both parties because Florida State, they obviously can't risk going through the early signing period without another quarterback. Because right now you're entering the offseason with just 2 scholarship guys in Brock Lynn and Luke Kromenhoek. And, we expect Florida State to go and probably grab someone out of the portal, but they needed to sign another high school prospect as well, because you never know what can happen in this day and age of the transfer portal. But a dual threat quarterback, I think when you look at his skill set compared to Tramell Jones Jr., this is probably the guy that you're thinking that Florida State wants to go after, a little bit more dynamic on his feet, can throw it, can run it. I think I saw in that playoff win on Friday night, he had a rush where he was recorded over 21 miles per hour. So it seems like he does have some speed to him. You mentioned some of his stats. I've got the updated ones. He's at 120 carries for 787 yards and 5 touchdowns on the ground, 4 games of 100-plus yards, averaging 6.6 yards per carry. So with the current state of Florida State's offensive line, you're going to need someone like that. There's going to be some retooling this offseason, but I'm not sure if that big of a problem can be entirely fixed before 2025. It's probably going to be a multi-year deal, when you look at the current situation. So Florida State, they're going to need these type of guys who can not only throw the ball, but get after it on the ground as well.
Someone dynamic that can move around. That's how any quarterback should be coming into what Florida State has placed out there at the offensive line, but could be saved for whichever coach ends up taking the reins there. But could this be just a little baby Baker Mayfield right here? Is this what we're seeing right here? Come on, we got to get all the clicks. Come on. Little Baker Mayfield action. That'd be fun. He runs. He's a physical guy. You go jump on his Instagram, and he definitely has a little fire under him, which I like.
You're the
But
one that
yeah,
covers Baker. I mean, are you seeing it?
oh, that's what I was saying, man. I see it on the film. He's got a little swagger to him. So yeah, you gotta bring in a quarterback in this recruiting class, nonetheless, because you just don't know what's going to happen there with Brock and Luke and the transfer portal. And I think things lean to where you're only going to have one of those guys going into 2025, and gotta bring a guy in. And interested to see this kid's still got his season going on. Could take them back to another state championship, not to another one because it's a different program, but he could go to a second consecutive state championship as a quarterback. And that to me impresses me.